Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to give you an update of the conclusion of the 149th General Assembly, which ended just over this past weekend. As many of you know, I'm State Senator Anthony Delcollo, and I'm very proud to represent the folks who live in and around Ellesmere and Newport and out to Route 7. This was a very busy time for us, as is typical for most ends of June, but there are a couple of things I wanted to highlight for you. First, I wanted to mention that we successfully saw signed into law my first bill, which was a change to the qualified immunity standards to allow many fire departments and first responders, including, most importantly, the Wilmington Fire Department, to be equipped with Narcan so that we can have some positive effect on the awful overdose crisis that we're seeing grip Delaware. I want to thank Mayor Perzicki, who was kind enough to make a Facebook post thanking myself and some of my fellow legislators for getting that legislation through and onto the governor's desk. I also wanted to mention a very exciting bill that was brought to us and really, I think, positions Delaware very well looking forward into the incoming months and years, which is the Industrial Hemp Bill, which will authorize Delaware farmers to grow industrial hemp, which is a product that has many, many uses, including pharmaceutical and biotech applications, building materials, clothing, cordage, and it's just an exciting opportunity given the fact that Delaware is already positioned so well in its agricultural industry. This was my second bill, and I'm really excited that we could do something to help Delaware's economy, assist our farmers, and move Delaware further on into the future of a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I also wanted to briefly mention a couple of things that we didn't get done, but that I'm nonetheless committed to seeing through to try to make some important changes happen with respect to how we deal with things in the first state. That really boils down to budget reform and addressing a new budget smoothing fund. We were unable, unfortunately, to consider House Bill 460, which I consider to be a missed opportunity, but I'm happy to say that Governor Carney did implement an executive order that looks to agency heads, cabinet secretaries, and others to make sure that they engage in budgeting practices that are sustainable over the long term. I want to applaud Governor Carney for doing this type of budget reform from the executive branch level, but I also think that it's important for the General Assembly to act and make sure that in years when we have much more money than we would expect, that we have a mechanism to save some of that money and place the rest of that money in line to address one-time expenditures like capital investments or deferred maintenance on our existing infrastructure. I think this is important because having a budget smoothing fund, as has been done in other states, allows them to be protected from the travails of sudden decreases in revenue and postures them to prevent the types of spikes and unexpected taxes or the sudden need to cut important essential services. So I look at a revamped budget smoothing fund and at a stable growth for our budget as something that promises to be responsible and meets the expectations that I think all of you have for how you would want Delaware to treat your tax dollars. We should be able to budget in a way that prevents cuts to essential services like schools and fire companies, and also in a manner that prevents last-minute, sudden spikes in taxes. I think that we're going to be discussing budget smoothing and a number of other items more going into the break. For example, towards the end, I had the chance to have a really great discussion about workplace fraud and enforcing our labor laws to make sure that Delaware's employees are treated fairly and to give a fair shot to employers that follow the rules. So I'm looking forward to having these discussions in the intervening months. I am going to rest up and come back ready and raring to go to continue to represent you in the 150th General Assembly, which will convene in January of 2019. As always, and especially now that we have some additional time, please be sure to reach out to us with your phone calls, your emails, and your social media comments. I really do enjoy interacting with you and hearing your perspectives. It really is a pleasure to represent you. Please, I hope you've had a wonderful 4th of July celebration and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Take care.